يعني شلون انا يوم اكتب عليك المية محصورك لا انتخابك وانا موجود انتم موجودين. لا ما حطيتكم واحد انا مو محصور. كارثه عمتك خليها ماكو واحد.
Can you guys hear me well? Everyone can hear me? Okay. We're gonna go ahead and go live in all local media.
Go ahead.
We're good to start?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, welcome everyone. My name is Hassan. I'm the founder and CEO of WhatsApp Media Network, and I'm also a candidate for the City Charter Commission in Dearborn. I want to thank all the candidates who are present, and we're going to say the names and give them a minute to introduce themselves. But first, I really want to thank our partners, media partners, because we wanted to make sure if not enough people show up, at least we have enough media coverage so you guys can get your name out. So we have Sky, Michigan TV, Hassan.
Thank you.
We have TCD, Mo Qasim. We have Dearborn بالعربي and bintjbail.org, Abbas Shab. He's Abbas. He's here. Abbas Abu Khudr. The Arab American News, صدى الوطن, أستاذ عباس. أستاذ قاسم ماضي.
أيوة.
Also we have Ali Harb from Al Jazeera. And WhatsApp Media. عينتيني.org. I'm sorry. And also Dearborn.org. I'm sorry, we missed Dearborn.org. So we wanted this as an opportunity, as a final opportunity for our residents to learn about the candidates, to ask them about their visions, about their plans, about the issues facing our city and how they plan to tackle those issues. So we're glad to have candidates running for mayor, candidates running for city council, and also candidates running for the charter commission. Civic engagement, this is the first right we gain when we gain our citizenship. Whether you're naturally born or you gain your citizenship through immigration process, this is the first thing we gain. It's basically the right to vote. And we want to make sure that everyone in the city specifically is aware of our election and is able to go out and vote. Not just them, take a family member with you and a friend with you. So we wanted this event to come as a reminder to everyone that election already started and election day is only 4 days away. Saturday, the city clerk will be open, on Saturday for special hours from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And also election day is going to be on Tuesday, November 2nd from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. What we want from everyone that's present here is to go on social media and write something about election day. Tell just as simple as please go out and vote. Please before you leave, make sure you go on your social media, whether on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, WhatsApp, send a WhatsApp message and make sure you tell people please go out and vote. If they need to register, we have Bilal here from the Secretary of State, Justin Penson. Thank you, Bilal, for being here. I see you already registered 3 people today, so that's great. So anyone who needs to register to vote, Bilal is still here. Or if they're not registered to vote, they can still go to the city clerk, register to vote, and vote at the same time. I don't want to take time. I want to give the time to our candidates to basically say a few words. We're going to give each candidate 1 minute to introduce themselves and why they're running or why people should vote for them. And we're going to start with Abdullah Hamud. Abdullah is running for mayor in Dearborn. So, Abdullah.
Good evening, everyone. I think at this point in time, 1 minute is too difficult to talk about the issues and the plans.
Yeah.
And so if you haven't heard it yet, go to votehamoud.com/issues. Written in Arabic and English, we have all our proposals online. With 4 days out, I'm hoping that there's just a concerted effort to get people out to vote. It doesn't matter who you're voting for. I'm not here to come out and tell you, if you're voting for me, come out and vote. If you're not voting for me, stay at home. No, come out and vote. We want to try to increase the participation all throughout the city of Dearborn. We saw unprecedented turnout in the primary election with a 45% increase compared to the municipal local election 4 years ago. And I'm hoping that we can achieve something similar 4 days from now on November 2nd. And so grab a friend, grab a neighbor, grab a family member, grab somebody you don't like or haven't talked to in a long time. Rebuild that relationship and encourage them to come out and vote. Because on November 2nd, your voice matters. And your voice is your vote and it's your power. If you want to see the change enacted in this city, if you want to see that your issues get addressed, then then go out there and vote for the most qualified candidate that's advocating with real proposals and real solutions to tackle those issues. And I hope I'm able to capture one of your votes for mayor, because you can only vote for one. For city charter, for council, you have multiple. But I'm hoping that you vote for Mustafa Hamud for mayor on November 2nd or before November 2nd.
Okay, Saeed Al-Awadi, he's running for Dearborn City Council. Saeed.
Assalamu alaikum. Greetings to everybody. My name is Saeed Al-Awadi. I'm running for Dearborn City Council. I've been in the city for over 40 years, and I continue to provide services to my dear city of Dearborn for the last 25 years. I've been involved during the pandemic. I provided ongoing support, which included the COVID testing, food drives, as well as vaccine clinics. Prior to that, which I currently stand on the Police Department Traffic Commission for the past 8 years. Prior to that, I've been a precinct delegate. I sit on many nonprofit boards as board of director, and some I am a founding member. So a couple of the things that I want to focus on when elected is pretty much our infrastructure. It needs to get repaired. We need to make sure that we update our sewage so that we can avoid further and future flooding, because everybody is sick of them. We also need to talk about our property taxes. Dearborn pays, the residents of Dearborn are paying a very high tax rate, and we need to make sure it doesn't get much worse than it already is, and we need to make sure that we get our money's worth for our city services. And lastly, we want to make sure that we continue to support and fund our police and fire department to make sure that we keep our families safe. I think that's a priority, and not to mention the issue of reckless driving that's been getting worse by the day. Thank you. My name is Saeed Al-Awadi, and I hope to earn one of your 7 votes.
Since we have a lot of candidates, I'm just gonna kindly ask the candidates to stick to 1 minute, just so we can get everyone out. No, you're good. It just came on this way. We're gonna have next Erin Burns, also running. She's currently our councilwoman, and she's also running to get re-elected for city council.
Good evening. My name is Erin Burns. I'm a candidate for re-election to Dearborn City Council. I grew up here in Dearborn. It's my hometown. I can't imagine serving anywhere else or serving a better population of people. I can tell you that during my first term on council, I've really been focused on being responsive and accessible to folks when residents reach out with questions or concerns. And it's really important for me as a council member to be on the front line of service for every individual, every neighborhood across our city. That is something that's very important to me. And I can just tell folks, we're a few days from a very important election. You can vote early by voting absentee today. The clerk's office is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, and election day is on Tuesday, November 2nd. I would encourage everyone to visit vote411.org. It's a nonpartisan website with information on all of our candidates for all of our positions. I would just encourage folks, do your homework, do your research, give everyone a fair shake, and really just let's make sure that we're getting out there in droves, that our turnout is high, because Dearborn, I think, is a really special place, and I want to make sure that everybody's voices are heard when they're casting their ballots on or before Tuesday, November 2nd. So again, I'm running for re-election to City Council, and I hope you'll consider me for one of your 7 votes. It's been an honor to serve, and I hope to continue to do that work on your behalf and be your voice on City Council. Thank you.
Just want to ask candidates to stay so we can take a group picture when everyone is done. Next is running for re-election, Councilwoman Leslie Herrick, Dearborn City Council.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Hussein, for hosting us this evening for this, the last forum before the election on Tuesday. I'm Leslie Herrick. I've been serving on Dearborn City Council for the past 4 years, and I'm running so that I can continue to serve you, the residents of Dearborn, and our business owners from one side of the city to the other. Many of you have seen me in your neighborhoods, at your doors, in your businesses, because I have been working for the past 4 years, and even before that, to get to know you and the issues that are important to everyone here in Dearborn. It's not an east or west thing in Dearborn, it's quality of life for everybody and the things that we all want to enjoy, the neighborhoods, our homes, the best quality of life possible, and I've been working to help provide that. First responders are usually top of the list of what's important to people who live here in Dearborn, and so that's always been my top priority, is making sure that our police and our fire have the staff and the training and the equipment that they need to continue to serve all of us effectively and quickly. But beyond that, Dearborn is much more than just first responders. It's our parks, it's our pools, it's our business districts, it's our beautiful neighborhoods, it's the city services that we receive to keep the streets clean. And the biggest challenge that we face is being able to provide the quality of service that you deserve for the amount of taxes that you pay, with the pool of money that we have to divide up among all those important things. And I've been working to be able to do that. I'm the only candidate who's been through training through the Michigan Municipal League, which has helped round my experience. I have a background in marketing, public relations, bringing people together through arts, culture, and recreation. And now I can better serve you because of the information that I've learned about managing city budgets and how municipalities work and how we can do better going forward. It's a really exciting time for Dearborn. We've got new mayoral administration coming in, new council members coming forward, and I'm eager to continue to be part of that team to serve you and always be your listening ears and out to meet you and hear about what's important to you. Thank you so much. I'll learn more at leslieherrickfordearborn.com. Thank you.
Next, running for City Council, Mustafa Hamud.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mustafa Hamud, and I'm running for Dearborn City Council. I've lived in Dearborn my whole life, and having been out there campaigning for the last 6 months, it's confirmed things that I've already noticed and felt in my own life living here in Dearborn, and that is we have a broken infrastructure, our streets are getting more and more unsafe, and our property taxes keep rising, and we're not seeing results for what we're paying. I'm running for Dearborn City Council because I think it's time that we actually get results for our city. I think it's time that we take a new approach. We're gonna have a new mayoral administration. I think it's time to elect members of council who are qualified and who understand what actual policy needs to be implemented in order to fix our infrastructure, in order to make our streets safer, and in order to reduce the property tax burden that we find stifling both residents from moving into our city as well as businesses. It's time to remove restrictions on building. There's a lot of work that we need to get done, and I think it's going to be more important than ever that everybody gets out and votes. The only way that we're ever going to get the change that we need to see is by going out and making our voices heard. We need to vote for qualified elected officials who are ready to serve on day one. So please, make your voices heard. It's been quite a while for everybody here, and I know that a lot of people here are very, very passionate about making that change, and it's going to be up to all of you to go find out which candidates you feel are ready to lead this city. So you can find out more about me and my plans at hamoudforcouncil.com, and I look forward to hopefully serving you all after November 2nd. Thank you so much.
Okay, next we're gonna have Sam Lukman. She's running for City Council. Sam?
Hi, my name is Sam Lukman, and I'm running for City Council. A lot of people ask why I'm running, and I'm going to tell you why you should vote for me. You can tell me that you're somebody who has suffered from the floods, and I can tell you that I'm the only candidate who's been bringing infrastructure, green infrastructure, to our city for years, even before the floods ever happened, which includes 250 rain gardens and trees in the last year, another 100 in the next year, and the next year, and the next year, and inshallah for the next 5 years coming. You can tell me you suffered from asthma or cancer or have a family member that has, and I can tell you that I'm the only one that's been fighting for clean air as we speak, holding corporate polluters accountable by being invested in a supplemental environmental project, providing input on a fugitive air dust ordinance and an anti-idling ordinance right now as a resident. You can tell me you care about education or have a family member who has had special needs, and I can tell you that I've been at the front lines fighting for our students, teachers, and parents. You can tell me that you have children who love going to the pools, or that you remember your time at Crowley, Hemley, or Whitmore Bowles pools. And I can tell you that I've been fighting to save the remaining pools, as well as bringing a new splash pad into our city at no cost to the residents. Or maybe you're someone who's paying more for your taxes than your mortgage. Or maybe you're someone who's paying a water bill that's gonna break the bank. And I can tell you that as a single mother working 2 jobs, I know the value of $1, and I know how it feels to have a penny go down the drain. And I'm committed that once I get onto council, your money's gonna be treated as if it was my own money. I'm asking for your vote, not just to bring changes to the city, but to continue the work that I've been doing. And I hope that you do vote for me. You get 7 votes for city council, and I just want to be one of those 7. Thank you very much.
Okay, next we're gonna have Ken Perez, also running for Dearborn City Council.
I'm coming.
Thank you, Tom.
Hey, good evening, folks. My name is Ken Perez, and I'm running for Dearborn City Council. Again, just in case you were not aware of it, I ran for City Council 4 years ago. It was about 1,000 votes out or so from making it. Those of you out there probably know that I had a long career in law enforcement. I served 39 years in uniform, both 27 with the Dearborn Police Department. I was a command officer, let alone a police officer, and another 12 at the University of Michigan Dearborn Public Safety Department, where I ran the day-to-day operations of public safety for those 12 years. And I was the first police officer certified on that campus to serve. I've spent the last 7.5, 8 years at AAA, the headquarters here at Southfield and Ford Road. But you know what? You've heard a lot about me about law enforcement, but I've been out there on social media. I've been out at events. Take a look. You can look at kenparis.forcouncil.com on the website, but also Paris for Council on my Facebook page. The reason why I want you to take a look is because for the last number of years, I've reported out about some things that are going on in the city and holding our accountable officials and our elected officials. Your mere presence at council meetings, at committees of the whole, mayor's briefings. Sometimes I'm the only resident at these meetings, and I report out on that. There are so many times on social media that people will have a discussion and bring up items for further discussion, and I give answers. And sometimes the conversation stops because they got a reliable answer. I'm looking for your vote. It's not just law enforcement. Take a look at me, folks. I've really got the energy and drive to fulfill this job and continue to serve the community that I served a long time in law enforcement. Not just law enforcement. Look beyond that, folks. There's a lot more information out there about me. So thank you so much.
Next, Khalid Osman, running for Dearborn City Council.
Good evening, and thank you, Hassan and What's Up Media, for hosting this event. My name is Khalid Osman, and I'm running for Dearborn City Council. And today we are only about 4 or 5 days away from the election day. Dearborn voters, you are the one who will determine who will lead the city, starting from the mayor's office to the city council office. I am here to tell you that I started my grassroots campaign to serve Dearborn residents. I will do my best to improve the lives of all Dearborn residents in this city. I'm a father of 5 children. I've been living in Dearborn all my life. I have a master's degree in information technology. I'm the only candidate who is coming to this race with an information technology background. And we need technology more than ever in the city. I also work as an IT manager for Chrysler, and I have about 9 or 10 engineers that are reporting to me. I know what it takes to build a team and respond to any disaster. I worked as a disaster recovery manager for almost 4 years. And what we witnessed last June, when we got that disaster flood, the city did a horrible job responding to the disaster. I know what it takes to build a disaster recovery plan and make sure every single scenario or every single disaster event that will take place in our city, we have a plan to respond to it. And we will make sure there is enough resources to respond to that disaster. Everybody's talking about the change, and we have a lot of issues in the city. I'm here to tell you that whatever issues that we are facing, there is two things that will solve our problem. Electing the right qualified candidates, and two things that will make your choice correct. Two traits, competency and integrity. When you elect a city council candidate or a mayor candidate, please do your diligence and focus on the competency, which is the qualification, experience, and vision of the candidate. And when it comes to the integrity, is basically the truthfulness, the honesty, and the integrity of the candidates. Those two traits, you will have a qualified candidates who are capable and who are honest to do the job and get Dearborn to a better place. Thank you very much. I hope I can get one of your 7 votes. Thank you.
Okay, last but not least for City Council, Khudr Farhat.
Hi everybody, assalamu alaikum, good evening. I'd like to thank Hassan, What's Up Media, alongside all the media partners for streaming this great event. Dearborn, you've heard from me for the past several months through mailers, social media, interviews, knocking on doors, making phone calls, and we have 4 more days to go. I pledge one thing. I will be a strong voice for you on council. I won't shy away from standing up for our city and our residents, all of our city and all of our residents. I'm running to ensure transparency and accountability. I'm running to make sure that I'm representing the differently abled. I think it's really enough. We have to have a strong rep of our differently abled population. I'm certainly running also to fight to lower property taxes for a cleaner environment and to make sure that every branch of our government is accessible and transparent. In short, I'm hoping to be your 7th vote. I'll be happy with that. So Dearborn, let's get out and vote on November 2nd. Thanks so very much.
So on the ballot, the first page is mayor, city clerk, city council. Mayor, you can vote for 1. City clerk, George Dirani is running unopposed. On city council, you can vote for up to 7. Make sure you don't vote for more than 7, because if you vote for more than 7, your vote will be forfeited. You're gonna flip the ballot, and on the back of the ballot, we're gonna have the race for Charter Commission, and we're gonna start with Glenn O'Cray running for Charter Commission. Glenn.
That's my friend.
He's everyone's friend.
He's our dean. How cool. I didn't know I had any friends. I've had various leadership roles in the city of Dearborn. I've either lived in Dearborn or worked in Dearborn all my life except for 2 months.
When you were on vacation.
When I was on vacation. I've exercised several leadership roles. I was director of financial aid at Henry Ford College for 30 years. Has anybody here gone to Henry Ford? Raise your hand. Everybody. All right. Has anybody filled out a financial aid application? Raise your hand, either for Henry Ford or another school. All right. I was an adjunct instructor there for another 15 years. I just wouldn't go away. I've had other leadership roles. I'm on the Dearborn Historical Commission right now, and I've edited or co-edited 6 books on Dearborn or Dearborn homes. I've co-edited a wonderful book on Building America, Immigrant Stories of Hope and Hardship. My heart really goes out to the immigrant, and I think Dearborn is a city of immigrants. I'm a member of the Committee to Promote the Better Understanding of Islam. I think developing a sense of unity in Dearborn is just terribly important.
You got my vote.
Thank you.
You got 2 votes.
Very good. 2 votes. 2 votes. Now I hear 3. Now, so now we're going to be reviewing this charter. So I've reviewed tens of thousands of financial aid applications. If I can do that, I can review a charter and come up with a good decision. Thank you for voting for me. Oh, one more thing. If you don't want to vote for me, vote for my wife, because she's on the same card.
Also for the Charter Commission, Okay, also for the Charter Commission, we're going to have our Mansour Sharha.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you, all the media outlets that came out tonight. I really appreciate. Special thanks also to the fellow candidates and to the residents that came out to see us, to talk to us. I know you've seen us, you heard from us. It is time for Dearborn to come out and vote. And one thing before I leave here, I'd like to remind all of us that the City Hall will be open Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Let's make this Saturday seems like another Tuesday. Okay, we have to get our people to go out and vote. So tomorrow, all the mosques in Dearborn will have a unified message. We have communicated to all the imams in the town to speak about the importance of election and to get out to vote. And also Saturday, we will help people to have transportation directly to the City Hall. Please help us to get the word out. No matter who you're voting for, we need the city of Dearborn to make the change that everybody's been waiting for. And I believe, looking at the pool of talents that we have for all the candidates, I think the ultimate winner will be the city of Dearborn by November 3rd. Thank you for being here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Next is Elizabeth Bailey.
Assalamu alaikum.
You got our phone. That's for sure. Don't worry.
My name is Elizabeth Bailey. I'm a PhD candidate of education at Wayne State University. I'm a nonprofit professional. I'm a community member. And I believe in Dearborn, I believe in democracy, and I believe in each and every one of us here today. Because what we're talking about isn't about an election, it's not about this or that, it's about what do we want for our community? What's the vision moving forward? What can we build together? And that's what I want for this charter. The charter is the city's constitution. It spells out the powers and responsibilities of our city government, but more than that, it's an agreement. It's an agreement between the governed and the government. And it's time for us to renew that agreement. It's time for us to say, this is how I want to be represented. This is how I want my community to connect. This is how I want us all to be able to communicate with each other. And as the foundational document of our city, it's so important that it creates the flexibility for us to look forward to the future, to futures that may feel uncertain. And it also has to respond to our immediate needs. So that's my vision for the charter. I'm an educator, I'm a researcher. I believe that civic engagement is a learning opportunity for all of us, that we can all become empowered residents, that we can all become empowered citizens by our government providing those learning opportunities for us to get engaged. I'm a researcher. I believe that we can find solutions that have worked in other communities and apply them here. And I believe that we can look at lessons learned so we can avoid some of the missteps. And I believe that if we do this as an open process, if the charter revision isn't 9 people locked into a room, if it's an ongoing exchange and communication with our communities, then we're going to have the best possible outcome. So please consider me, Elizabeth Bailey, for one of your 9 votes for city charter.
Next, we're going to have Hassan Abdul Karim, also for Dearborn City Charter.
No, I'm not very good at this. So I'm an IT guy, and he dragged me here, Mr. Hagen. So I know I haven't been very much in the public. I'm an IT guy, so I kind of stay in the basement.
That's your first public appearance, actually.
Of course. So the charter has to protect the residents. I feel that there's things that happen when people approach the city that they feel like they're neglected. And I want to make sure that every single resident is protected by the charter and their concerns are met by every employee, by every council member, and the mayor himself. So I hope to work together with the other 8 candidates, and you can vote for me. I'll prove to you that we'll make that difference. Thank you, and
also on the planning commission for the city of Dearborn. I know this is your first public speech. I just want to make sure people know the problem. Next, we're going to have also Laura Dajan running for City Charter Commission Dearborn. Laura?
Hi, I'm Laura Dudgeon, and I'm not a lifelong resident of Dearborn. I chose Dearborn. I chose Dearborn about 35 years ago. I saw the parks, the pools, the schools, the museums, and I thought this is a great place to raise my son. And it was the best decision I ever made. And now I want to give back to the city. I want to keep that vibrant city alive and protect the rich history of Dearborn while also taking it ahead, taking it into the future and making it a green, sustainable city that we can all enjoy and our grandchildren will and our great-grandchildren will. And that is my goal. Now, I'm really honored to be among the fine candidates that we have running for this charter and for the council. And I'm hoping that I'm one of them. I'm sure that we will work together. We all bring in different viewpoints. And actually, it's all going to be done with by Tuesday. However, I do want to just put out a public service announcement that there are still a lot of absentee ballots out. And if you have an absentee ballot, or if anyone you know has one, don't mail it. Take it down to the city administrative offices. That's right. And those who don't show up to, then we need you to show up to vote on on Tuesdays. Yeah. So, well, actually, any day you can go down there and vote. I'm hoping, though, in the long run, that when we get done with this charter and the residents vote for it, that it's a document that other communities use as an example. Thank you, shukran.
Last but not least, also for the Charter Commission, the one and only Jacqueline Zaidan.
Okay. So my name is Jacqueline Zaidan, running for the city charter. And to be very frank with you, you know, I'm a type of person that doesn't sugarcoat anything, and I'm all about transparency and holding people accountable. And I have been really frustrated in the past couple of years. While the charter itself is the constitution for our city, I come with no vision other than to make sure that the process itself is going to be an open and transparent one, because at the end of the day, we're here to deliberate, we're here to dissect, and we're here to understand and bring forth to the residents. And at the end of the day, it's the residents that are going to make the final decision. And I want to make sure that it is the residents that are the ones that are going to be happy with what we come up with. I will finally say that, you know, at the end of the day, we have a lot of people running. There's some great candidates from the mayor all the way on down. And whoever wins is great. But I think at the end of the day, us as residents, we need to continue holding our officials accountable, and that's where the job begins, no matter who's in office. Because at the end of the day, we don't know who's gonna be there. But I do know that at the end of the day, that we as residents cannot drop the ball. And at this point in time of this city, because this is a make or break election for this entire city, we need to hold them accountable. And I hope that every single resident doesn't back down, because we deserve better and we deserve more. So,
since we have a lot of the media,
we have one more charter candidate.
Who?
Hussein Hashim.
I think I got enough time of the mic, but
you got only 1 minute.
1 minute. Okay, I mean, everyone knows me, I think, at least whoever in the room. My name is Hussein Hashim. I'm running for the Dearborn City Charter Commission. Since we announced this, I'm really humbled and honored by the support that we gathered and we garnered around the city. I think if we're gonna say one candidate that started working on the charter even before it was on the ballot, it's me, because we sent a mailer even before any name was on the ballot. We sent a mailer in the primary advocating for people to know that there is a proposal and to vote yes on the proposal, because I believe in accessibility. When we went around the city and we talked to people, what struck me most is nobody knew what the charter is and what the charter do and how the charter affect our daily life on a daily basis. So I want to make sure, to use my education background, my communication background, so we can bring accessibility, so we can take that bureaucracy outside of city government, so people can have that communication channel, have that relation with city government. City government should not be a stranger to its resident. It should serve the resident and have an open door policy and be very open and transparent about what's going on and involve them in the process of making the decision. So I'm running to make sure that everyone in the city have a seat on the table, and I really mean that. Thank you for the 1 minute. I know many of the media organization we have, they have a lot of Arab speaking followers, so I'm gonna give the mic to Zuhair Alawi to say some few words in Arabic so we can motivate people to go out and vote. Zuhair.
Thank you all the candidates, because you have the courage to come and serve, to be public servants. You gave a lot of promises. We're gonna hold you accountable for your promises. Don't forget that. Assalamu alaikum jami'an. You got our vote. بدي اتوجه لاهلنا واخوتنا واخواتنا في الجالية العربية الامريكية بالتحديد وفي ديربون بشكل عام. And I want to say to Mr. Glenn, not only Dearborn has to be the city of immigrants, the United States of America has to be the country of immigrants. Because it's the country of immigrants. So,
Today is the National Day for Immigrants.
Yeah. So, بدي اتوجه للكل، للصغار والكبار. كل واحد بامكانه انه يدلي بصوته ويحط صوته بصندوق الاقتراع. انه نهار الثلاثاء او من هلا لنهار الثلاثاء نتوجه كلتنا لحتى نبرهن بانه نحن فعلا بنستحق نكون مواطنين من الدرجه الاولى مش من الدرجه الثانيه، وقت اللي بنظهر لحتى نصوت ونقول لكل واحد بده يترشح بانه اذا انت بدك توصل بدك صوتنا، وصوتنا بيأثر، بيطلع وبينزل، بينجح وبيسقط. اليوم يومنا ويوم الاختبار، كلتنا بدنا نظهر لحتى نصوت. ما حدا يقعد بالبيت، اللي بيقعد بالبيت ما بإمكانه يعترض بكره ويقول والله طافت البيسمنت عندي. اليوم بده يقرر مين بإمكانه يمثله، ومين بإمكانه انه يحمل قضيته، ومين بإمكانه يحمل وجعه، ومين بإمكانه يحمل فرحه. انتم بدكم تنقوهم وتختاروهم. فكرمال هيك بترجاكم من بوس ايديكم، اظهروا وروحوا صوتوا، شاركوا بصناعة مستقبلكم وشاركوا بصناعة مستقبل هذه المدينة. وعندنا فرصة اليوم انه نختار نحن التشارتر كوميتي، صار لنا زمان مش سامعين فيها وكل الناس ما بتعرف فيها. اليوم بنعرف انه نحن بامكاننا نساعد وبامكاننا نشارك بصياغة ميثاق هذه المدينة. وفي عنا كتير كانديديتس بيستاهلوا. انا ما بدي اقول لكم لمين لازم تصوتوا، انتم صرتوا تعرفوهم، والناس اللي خدموكم قبل وخدموكم خلال كل هالفترة صرتوا تعرفوهم بالاسماء وتعرفوهم بالاشخاص. اظهروا صوتوا لمين ما بدكم، بس اثبتوا بانكم انتم كتلة انتخابية يعتمد عليها. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Okay. Okay. Just few notes and we're gonna finish. Few reminders. Do not mail your ballot. It's too late. If you have an absentee ballot, make sure you take it to the city clerk. Mustafa, don't leave. We're gonna take a picture. Okay. Also, like we mentioned before, Saturday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's open. City clerk is open just for voting. Please go and vote. Tuesday, polls are going to be open at 7 a.m. Close at 8 p.m. Even if you're not registered to vote, on Tuesday you can still go to the city clerk, register to vote, and vote at the same time. If you don't know your precinct, you can go to sos.gov. Michigan.gov/vote. Michigan.gov/vote. You want to say a few words, Bilal? Sure. Okay, we have Bilal from the Secretary of State, Justin Pensa. Go ahead.
So no one can top what was just said. But truly, I just want to echo what a lot of people have said here today. It's about getting your voice out. It's about educating your community. It's really about showing that we deserve to have a voice, not just now, but in future elections. If we want congressional, state, all these leaders to come to Dearborn to look for us as a voice, as a strong voice, we have to show now that we care at the local level. So if you want to vote, you can. Michigan.gov/SOS will give you all the information. You can still register. You can go online and look up your polling location, track your ballot if you sent it in the mail. If it hasn't yet been received and you see that you sent it, make sure you check. On election day, it still hasn't been received, go in. Make sure your vote gets cast because this is your chance to change Dearborn history on every level of government. So you can track your ballot, you can register to vote, you can go and find your polling location, your clerk's office, and you can make sure that you're going to the drop box and taking advantage of every single resource that exists for you. You know, in 2018, we went from one of the worst states to one of the best states for voting access. So take advantage of it, because it might not always be there. And we want to make sure that we showcase that we are taking advantage of these new rights to vote. So that's all I really have to say. Go vote November 2nd. I'll see you.
Okay, I want to thank all the volunteers that helped out with this event. Zainab, Abbas, Eliana, Muna, Saada. Also, thank you to all our media partners. We really thank you for your time. Probably you guys don't get the credit that you really deserve. You're like the hidden soldier, to be honest with you. So thank you for everything that you guys do. بدي اشكركم بعد مرة تانية. سكاي، ميشيغان تي في استاذ هيثم، تي سي دي، ديربون بالعربي بنت جبال استاذ عباس، عباس مخضر، قاسم ماضي، صدى الوطن Arab American News خينا عباس كمان، علي حرب من الجزيرة وديربون.org. I'm gonna call all of the candidates. I'm gonna call your name here. We're gonna take a group picture and then we'll conclude this event. Also, thank you to everyone that came out. I know we have a lot of community members that came out. I know Ustaz Ali, he's our dean here, and Ustaz Sami, president of the Dearborn Democratic Club. Everyone here is near and dear to our heart. And I think I forgot Anne Mary McCarthy. She's running for the 3rd Circuit Court. So good luck on your race, Anne. So City Council, Saeed Al-Awari, Mustafa Hamud, Erin Burns, Leslie Herrick, Khalid Farhat, Sam Lukman, Ken Perez, Khalid Osman. We're going to take a picture for City Council candidates first, so let's move this table.
I was going to say, I think it's more of a size thing.
So I'm going to move this and we'll let them take pictures for you guys. Let's have the ladies in the middle. How do you guys want it? Abbas, كيف بدكم اياهم؟ So they're gonna tell you. كيف بدك اياهم يوقف؟ كيف راح نحط الشرطة؟ This is good. Maybe move this to This is good. This is good. Abbas will take it. This is good. So how do you want it?
They're telling us he's telling us
whatever you guys want. So one line, that's one in
Hassan, put your hand down.
Everyone say okay, here guys.
This is terrible.
City Charter. City Charter. Mansour, Elizabeth, Glenn.
Left. سيدي كيف؟ هذا لايف هون؟
City charter candidates, please.
Really?
Everyone is here? Perfect. Can I stand with you guys? Okay, how to so one line, guys, side.
اوكي جاكلين شوي عربي
Hey, perfect, this way, يلا.
عربي شوي
يلا.
اوكي
Everybody say عصير.
Okay, all candidates, we're gonna put some seats and we have all so stay. Okay, all candidates,
Just wanna wait for somebody to tell me where to go.
So all candidates, Khalid Osman, everyone, group picture. Yes. One more chairs. Let me grab more chairs. Where is in the back?
In the back?
They're doing their own photo. The real one is right here, guys. Come on in, Khalid.
Unity, man. Come on.
Oh, shoot, the mask is still here. I think they're still
Where do you want it?
at the front.
No, I'm staying right here.
I get to be in the middle.
Yeah, she's here.
I get to sit in the
I think I should for the wife.
They look younger now.
Someone put your phone. Okay, let me
Everybody,
these are right
everybody
now.
just look to the candidate.
يلا first one 1 2 okay
Okay, Abbas now, I think, ولا هيثم? لا, Abbas now, so Abbas.
All right, 1, 2, 3, big cheese! Big cheese!
You can do both.
لا برا انا برا انا كنت جوا هون هلا بس دقيقة بس تترشح بس دقيقة خليكم اقرأني صورة هيك هيك اقرأني اياها ايوه خلص يعطيكم العافية ثانك يو
خلينا نكلم الشباب.
Why is it everywhere I go I get a picture? It's good. Right here.